Hi, welcome to the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. I'm Steve, and guess what? Today we're back to building Aurora. Okay, let's go take a look. Okay, so as we look at Aurora, we can see that we have this open area to the far right. All right, right hand side of the furniture, Burford furniture. Okay? And so let's take a closer up look at that. We got two angles here. This is where we're looking, right over here, and we want a scene break, okay? Because the drop-down section is the icing platform, and then a lead-in. So we need some kind of a scene breakage here to help cover up the end of the staging yard. So what we're going to do is we're putting in a bridge. And I've got some of the lumber cut already. The bridge will go right here and give the impression that it's coming out over the staging yard and the tracks and the freight yard. And it'll have the railings and everything, etc. Okay? And to do that, it's going to be a lift off. It's going to be held in place by magnets. There will be the continuation of the retaining wall underneath, right here. So as you look underneath, you'll still see the retaining wall. Okay? There will be some bridging piers here in this gap, and then again at the fascia, along with a brace across on the back. Again, all three of those, actually there'll be four, here, 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 and here, with magnets, okay, to help hold it in place. All right, so with that, let's get after it. I've got some bracing to do, and just hurry right along. Got the pieces I need to build my two bridge piers, and what I've done is I've shaped each of these. I've hollowed out the backside where the neodymium magnet will fit. I'll be using some Gorilla Glue. Now this is the Varathane expanding type. I'll be using that to glue in the magnets, along with a cover section of styrene. All right. And then for the columns themselves, I'll be using Gorilla Wood Glue, and simply glue these in. Everything's been measured. Okay. So once I get all of these assembled, then I'll go in and I'll drill the holes that these will sit down in on the layout. Okay. So with that, let's get these things assembled. Now the Varathane glue has to activate with water. So I do have my wet water. Put that in there. All right, once I had the desired shape for the road and lead-in area there, I took a 1-inch drill bit, and this is on the underside, and I hollowed out areas here and here, because that will be the underside of the bridge abatements. All right, the piers, where the piers will be, and they'll have neodymium magnets in them. So the neodymium magnets will grab a hold of these washers that'll be laminated in there with the Varathane or urethane Gorilla Glue. Okay. You'll also see the copper bus line tape applied to the underside. That's for the street lights. They'll also be wired into a plug because this section has to be removable, and that plug will hook into the lighting bus for the automatic lighting of the railroad. Now you'll see here this beam, and it's been grooved out. That's because there's a concrete block wall that'll fit down inside of this groove. And the concrete block wall, of course, is plywood with my foam core and printed cardstock concrete block laminated on it. All right, so here's a closer view of those washers in place in those recessed areas. Then they have a cover, a thin styrene cover laminated on them. That's to help make sure that they don't get pulled out by the neodymium magnets when the roadway is elevated off. And used some clamps and the urethane glue to glue those cover places down. Now this strip here goes on the back side of the back board, okay, or the back drop, and the neodymium magnets there. Underneath those clamps in the edge, I've doubled up the plywood there. That is so the additional neodymium magnets, bar magnets, can be recessed into that edge, and thus between the two pair, between each pair is the backdrop of magnets, and that holds the backside in place to the backdrop. All right, and it sits on there just like that. You'll see the two bridge piers, all right, where the concrete block wall is, represented by plywood at present. And so now you can see the basic structure of the seam block or transition in place. Now I've added the edging, which is white channeled styrene, to take away from that plywood look. And then on top of that, we have the old style railings, okay, from Rick's. And the other side view. Now you can see a screw right there. That's where it's screwed through the backdrop to hold that those backside magnets, that strip with the recessed magnets in it. Once again, look at it. Bit more of a drone view with the extension to the railroad tracks in place and bent off, and it'll be drawn out and through a forced perspective faded into the backdrop. You also can see the street lights are now in and wired up. And there's the concrete block wall. All right, and again, that's nothing more than foam core with cardstock printed off my printer, concrete block. That's not the best job in the world, but again, there will be some bushes and stuff there to help spice that up, spruce that up a little bit. on the roadway. No more plywood showing. And the white center line, intermittent center line has also been added in. Bridge piers have been painted. A little bit of a nighttime scene there. And like I said, now you don't see as much of the imperfections. With that, I want to thank you for joining me here at the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day, building Aurora. And we're racing towards the finish line. With that, thanks again. Y'all have a great day. Bye now.